Hi, it's Pat Gillis here. And years ago, when I used to go to horse shows and things like that, it was really tempting to train in the morning when it was cool, but it kind of occurred to me that you probably should train at the time that you'll be riding in the actual show. And so, as hard as it was, I thought it was good for both myself and the horse to kind of get climatized to the heat. Having said that, there are temperatures that just get to be too hot, in my opinion, to ride, and we're in a little bit of that spell right now. We've canceled all the lessons at the riding school because it's, I think it translates to about 93 Fahrenheit, feels like about 105. And to me, that's just too hot unless you're going into battle or there's some kind of an emergency. To make horses work in this weather seems unconscionable to me. Now, some of the horses have more trouble in the heat than others. Oh, here he is right here. Well, here's Rocky. And Rocky has what's called anhidrosis, which is he has an inability to sweat. And so we really keep an eye on this guy. He's pushing 30 now as well. And so that also makes things hard for him. So we really keep an eye on his breathing and making sure that he gets in out of the sun after being out here for a little while. So if you look at Rocky, it's pretty hot today, but you won't see any sweat on him at all. Like, he's bone dry. Maybe when we take his head collar off, we'll see a little bit behind his ears, but that's just about it. Funnily enough, I've probably told this story before, but the person who owns this horse really went to a lot of trouble trying to talk to different vets and figure out what to do about this. And some old horse fellow said to her, "Oh, for God's sake, just give him a Guinness." And eventually we finally decided, let's give that a try. And so far, it's been the only thing that helps him at all. He still doesn't sweat a lot, but sometimes when you take the saddle off and things after he's been ridden, there'll be a little bit of moisture at the girth area, which is a big improvement compared to before his days of drinking beer. At any rate, on days like this, we give them all a bath when they come in out of the fields so that they have a little bit of a chance to cool down. Some of the old guys, like here's Rocky, if you listen, I'm going to see if I can get you to hear the sound. When you spray the water on his coat, it almost sounds like you're running water on a tent or a tarpaulin. Not sure you can hear that. So what we do anyway is we'll give that coat a nice scratch with our hands until we can actually kind of get the water right down to the skin. These horses have a great oil at the base of their coat, and it's really hard sometimes to actually touch the skin with the water. And the old guys like Rocky who grow a little bit too much coat, it's really important to make sure that that cooling water is actually touching their skin and not just sort of rolling off like water off a duck's back. Another thing we're going to watch for is dilated nostrils like this. This is Gus, and he has to go onto a bronchial dilator because this kind of weather has really made it difficult for him to breathe. Gus is retired, and he's pretty close to 30 years old. And just like with people, you really want to keep an eye on the older horses in weather like this when the temperatures get so very hot. He didn't need a bronchial dilator last year, but he seems to need it this year. So I guess what I would just say in this kind of hot weather is think about your horse. Make sure that they've got a way to get out of the sun if they're out all the time. Make sure that they're kept cool and they've got access to lots and lots of water. That's hugely important. And stay cool. Remember to thank your horse, and we'll see you next week.